Midland, Odessa, and Big Spring. This is ABC Big 2 News at 10.
Now at 10, severe weather in West Texas today. Parts of the basin saw hail, even a confirmed tornado touching down. And as we come on air, some rain is falling in South Odessa.
And new video tonight out of Pecos County. Our viewer Jose Lujan shared this tonight. A tornado touching down this afternoon. A few others got out of their cars next to him to see this. Now, strong winds today along I-10 also proved difficult for drivers. And we did get some video of two semis on their side. Now, Denver City got pelted with hail. Thank you to our viewer Wendy for these photos. Some of that hail the size of an apple. It did damage to her car, leaving a hole in her car's sunroof.
And taking a live look now at our Midland Tower Cam, we're going to keep an eye out on those conditions for you all throughout the night. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Madeline Bierster.
And I'm Rob Toot. Thanks for joining us tonight. ABC Big 2's Bridget Sarpong joins us now live from the Weather Center. Hi, Bridget.
Hey,
now,
Rob
your forecast
and
first
Madeline.
on ABC Big 2 News.
Well, today was not a sunny Sunday in the basin, but it was a severe Sunday. Literally just a couple minutes ago, our tornado warning has expired. Now, here's what we did see for today. We do have a lot of colors going on our severe risk zone map. In the orange for the marginal risk, or sorry, for the enhanced risk, we do have the Odessa Midland area. In the yellow for the slight risk, we do have Fort Stockton. And then in the green, we have Carlsbad and Van Horn. Now, we did see a lot going on, and here's everything that we did see going on for today. We kept you guys updated via our Facebook. Here's a closer look at all the storms that we saw brewing in our area. Now it's making its way out of the Permian Basin, but for the most part, it produced a large amount of hail, just like what we saw in Denver City. And I'll have more of this new week's forecast on the show. Back over to you guys.
All right, thanks, Bridget. Over the weekend, tornadoes have touched down north of Texas and several Midwestern states. Tonight, 3 students from the University of Oklahoma who were storm chasing are being mourned by their loved ones.
Well, that's right. They were killed in an accident during the storm. And ABC's Natalie Clydesdale leads us off tonight with that report.
They're just gone. I really don't know. It's awful.
One of the many hearts absolutely shattered over the tragic death of 3 University of Oklahoma meteorology students.
I've never felt like this before.
Nicholas Nair, Gavin Short, and Drake Brooks couldn't have been more thrilled to be chasing Friday night severe weather in Kansas.
They had a great day. They called their parents after and were telling them about how excited they were. Drake actually saw his first tornado yesterday.
But the night taking a devastating turn on the ride back to Norman.
They were southbound on I-35. It was raining heavily at the time. It just takes just a little bit of water to lose control.
Lieutenant Philip Ludwig says their car appears to have hydroplaned, hit a barrier wall, and become disabled crossways in the interstate.
Before they could exit their vehicle, a semi came along in the rain and struck them broadside.
The impact so powerful, the young men pinned inside the car for nearly 5.5 hours. All 3 died at the scene.
It's just heartbreaking to think, we lost 3 very talented young men in just a tragic accident.
OU sending their heartfelt sympathies, saying in part, the university is devastated to learn of the tragic passing of 3 students. Each were valued and loved members of our community. The School of Meteorology adding, now more than ever, we must come together in kindness and heartfelt support for one another.
Absolutely amazing people. And I want people to remember them. They will be greatly missed.
And now, your local Weather Authority forecast.
We are your weather authority. Tonight, tornado damage has left families in Kansas combing through what's left of their homes. An EF3 tornado touched down just before the weekend started. Now, thankfully, no one was killed. ABC's Eddie Randall spoke with a homeowner who's trying to find the silver lining now.
Check out this candle I found.
Amazed by what is untouched.
Fully intact, the glass is still there. $3 from Target, but survived.
As Sydney Rumery sifts through what's left of her Andover home with her husband.
He was upstairs playing on his computer, some video games, and had his headphones in.
She knows what she still has could also be gone.
He saw the tornado coming through and went downstairs, thank goodness. Our dogs got scared, and so they kind of got away from him, and so he was screaming for them, went downstairs, locked himself downstairs. once everything he came out, thought for sure our pugs were gone, but they were fine.
Emotions are high.
A lot of shock. I think we're just kind of in disbelief.
She says the storm puts into perspective what is truly meaningful.
The most important thing is that we're okay and that all our neighbors are okay. That's the only thing we really care about. We have so many people offering our homes their help, so much support.
And that was Eddie Randall reporting. Now in New Mexico, the Calf Canyon and Hermits Peak fire continued to spread north. As of today, the fire has burned more than 100,000 acres. It is just 30% contained. Now, strong winds are fueling that fire. Parts of Las Vegas, New Mexico are preparing to evacuate, but some refuse to leave their homes.
I hope not to leave.
Hope not to, but of course if you do.
Yeah.
Do you have anything packed so far yet? Or
No, nothing. No, nothing. I don't expect to.
The Red Cross said its doors are open to fire evacuees, and some people who have been at the shelter have been there for more than 9 days. And developing tonight at 10 o'clock, hundreds of sailors have been moved off of the USS George Washington docked in Virginia. The ship is one of America's massive aircraft carriers, and right now it's undergoing an overhaul.
Now, the Navy is investigating a rise in deaths on board. 4 sailors have died by suicide on that ship. 3 of those sailors died in the span of just 1 week. ABC's Phil Lipoff reports.
A sharp rise in crew suicide on a Navy ship, the USS George Washington, docked in Virginia under scrutiny as hundreds of sailors are moved off the ship. The Navy confirming there have been 7 deaths in the last 12 months of service members assigned to the ship. 4 of them apparent suicides, 3 in 1 week this month. Natalie and Lamonte's son, Mikhail, one of them.
All I can constantly think about is when he was born. His smile.
In a statement, the Navy says the circumstances surrounding these incidents vary, and it is premature to make assumptions, as some incidents remain under investigation. One thing is clear. All 7 deaths happened while the ship has been in port undergoing an overhaul. Last week, the Navy's senior enlisted person, Master Chief Russell Smith, addressed sailors' concerns on the ship, heard here in audio obtained by the Military Times.
I'm going to tell you that I understand that we still have a problem, and the department has been focusing on it, but the problem is getting suicide is like getting cancer. There are many different causes, many different reasons.
Following the deaths, the Navy says it put into place immediate mental health support, deploying a 13-person special psychiatric rapid intervention team, adding 1 clinical psychologist and a clinical social worker to the ship, and expediting mental health referrals. You think that maybe your son's death could have been stopped somehow?
It's still a mystery to me.
Yeah, honestly, it's a mystery because it's sudden and it was out of the blue.
Virginia Congresswoman Elaine Luria wants answers too.
This is just tragic. I really have big concerns that there's something bigger going on within this command.
Today was a weather active day full of severe thunderstorms. Can we expect more rain chances in the basin? I'll have that answer after we get back.
And an urgent manhunt tonight for a missing inmate convicted of murder and a corrections officer. But police now wonder, was this all planned?
And right here on ABC, you saw Steph Curry and the Warriors take on Ja Morant and the Grizzlies in Game 1 of the conference semifinals. Those highlights up next.
Locals know the best way to control expensive water costs is to install their own water well. Since 1981, the JR's Water Well Service Team has been serving the Permian Basin, providing bids and same-day service calls you can trust for residential and commercial water wells. Our customers describe us as outstanding and professional, with a quick response time and expert knowledge. Trust the JR sticker seen all over West Texas. Call today for quick bids, same-day service, and to receive the Big 2 10% off anything offer.
Bob Mills Companions prices let you get everything you want all together and pay less. Let's take a look. From our high-quality upholstery selection, this Mitchell sofa and love seat with matching throw pillows purchased separately $2,400, but with Bob Mills Companions price just $19.96. Plus, I'm always going to give you 60 months to pay. Bob Mills and our unique Companions prices. Now you can get everything you want.
We were noticing some of the signs of memory loss. With my mother-in-law, we call her Mimi. We've really had to lean in as a family and communicate very closely about what's going on. But even as a certified dementia practitioner, I'm not great at this when it comes to being a daughter-in-law. We were able to have the conversation because we wanted to make sure that we had the best care possible for Mimi.
Hi, I'm Susie with Susie South 40, and guess what? It's everything time. It's not just Mother's Day, but it's also nurses. It's graduation. It's something else, I'm sure. But you gotta come shop, we've got it all.
And Susie's South 40 Confections is ready with all kinds of great tasting and uniquely decorated edibles, candy, and of course, gifts.
Oh, and it's Teacher's Week too.
Susie's South 40 Confections. Call or visit us online and place your order today.
Get ready for your day with meteorologist Ryan DePhillips. And now, your local Weather Authority forecast.
Well, everyone, happy Sunday. Now, today was not a sunny Sunday in the basin. We will call it a severe kind of Sunday in the basin. Taking a look at our Midland Tower cam, we do see some shake going on. That's because of that wind that we have been seeing because of those isolated severe thunderstorms. Not only that, but we do see a little bit of some rain droplets on the camera screen and the lid, only because of that rain that we did see that passed on through the Midland and Odessa area. Now, before we even got to some of that rain, taking a look at our almanac, we did have some pretty good temperatures, just 1 degree short of what we're used to this time in May, sitting at 84 degrees for our average. Now, today we came in 1 degree cooler, sitting at only 83 degrees. A warm day in the basin, but not as warm as we were back in 2020 when we sat at 101 degrees. Taking a look at our lows, we did come in pretty short, or no, not even short. We came in pretty warm for that today, sitting at 62 degrees. Now, our average around this time in May is definitely 54 degree temperatures, but you know what? We will take what we can get. Taking a look at what we did see for today, a high of only 84 degrees, a 60% chance of some rain showers, and this is what we did see for today. We saw some hail damage, we saw some wind damage, and we even saw some tornado chances. Taking a look at our severe risk zones for today, we do have 3 colors that are on the map. We have the orange, which is an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms. We have our yellow, which is a slight risk of thunderstorms, and then we do have our green that shows a marginal risk of thunderstorms. Now, all these thunderstorms did produce hail and large wind gusts up to 60 and 75 miles per hour. Talking and speaking about those thunderstorms that we did see, pretty much all going on in the Permian Basin. Earlier when we started in the morning, we didn't see anything at all, but then it started picking up right around 4 p.m. Now, taking a look at the severe tips for today. Based off of all the rain we did see, you know what? We are going to see a lot of some rain in the roads as well, some of that drainage. So turn around and don't drown. There are some tips for tonight as you are, and if you do have to go out tonight. And then also avoid those flooded roads. Now, I know it's kind of hard to do based off of how, some of the roads are done, but you know what? If you do have to drive through those roads, be sure to be driving in those puddles very slowly. Definitely not too bad. Taking a look at Monday, after all the action that we did see today, Monday we're not going to have too much action. We're going to have a clear day. We're only going to see some marginal risk over in San Angelo and in Abilene. So definitely not bad whatsoever. Now for our kiddos, tomorrow is Monday, which means it's a school day for you guys. We're going to send you off to school at 63 degrees. It is going to be a little bit cloudy, but it will get sunny. Perfect enough for by the time you get out of school, we will be sitting at 92 degrees. A very warm afternoon with no rain chances whatsoever. And we do see some of that cloud cover coming up at 7 a.m. on Monday, and that cloud cover does leave the entire Permian Basin until we get into Tuesday mornings. Definitely not bad at all. We're going to start off our day with cloudy skies at 61. By noon, we will be sitting still at 61. We will be warming up. And then by 5 p.m., that's when we hit those warm afternoon temperatures. So not bad whatsoever. Now, this upcoming week, it's Cinco de Mayo week. So by that time, you will be seeing that we won't have any rain chances, but Wednesday we will little isolated thunderstorms similar to today, but just 10% chance of that. Temperatures will be sitting at 91 degrees. And then Madeline and Rob, we will be having Cinco de Mayo 86 degrees in that weekend. No thunderstorms whatsoever. Then we will have a chance of that sunny Sunday.
It is nice to see a lot of sun this week, and one thing's for sure, it's definitely been warm.
Definitely been warm. I feel like tonight specifically when it wasn't raining, just the humidity is so intense here.
It is. But hey, we'll take what we can get, right?
Good week ahead for sure.
Thank you, Bridget.
Now to a growing manhunt. Federal authorities have joined the search for an Alabama murder suspect who vanished along with a female corrections officer.
And tonight there are new questions about whether that officer was involved in the escape. ABC's Elwin Lopez has the latest.
Tonight, the nationwide manhunt in Alabama for an inmate accused of capital murder and a corrections officer. Lauderdale County Assistant Director of Corrections Vicki White and inmate Casey White, who are not related, vanished Friday. The sheriff says she told the jail around 9:30 that morning that she was escorting the inmate to court before going to see her doctor.
And I can tell you that every employee in this office is shocked that she's missing and that this has happened.
Vicki White taking Casey White by herself in a patrol car, breaking department policy which requires 2 deputies. By late afternoon, both were missing. Her car found later that day in a parking lot at a nearby shopping center. And news tonight, the sheriff saying that day was also her last day at work, turning in retirement paperwork just 24 hours before. Authorities now saying that there was no scheduled court appearance for that inmate and no doctor's appointment for Vicki.
We're pretty well convinced that she assisted Casey White escape. Really, the question we have lingering is, did she do that willingly, or was she somehow coerced or forced to help him?
The sheriff calling the officer an exemplary worker with nearly 17 years at the department and saying that as part of her job, she frequently interacted with inmates. This all comes as a shock to the family of Connie Ridgway, the woman who Casey White confessed to killing in 2015 while serving 75 years for a crime spree.
How is that even possible for someone with his rap sheet to be able to get out that easily?
And across Texas tonight, another year has passed with law enforcement officers across the state losing their lives in the line of duty. Our Capitol correspondent, Jayla Washington, shows us how officers were honored today.
A majestic and sync procession onto the Capitol grounds. Flags waving with pride, heads held high, all to honor a group of men and women who risked everything.
They opened a body bag, and there was my son. You can imagine how apparent. Here I go again. I've been crying for the last year and a half.
Domingo Hasso from South Texas says he lost his son, a Border Patrol officer, to COVID.
But all of these people are the same way as I am, mourning that loss. It won't go away.
Hasso, in pain, somehow being out here today makes he and his family feel a little less alone.
The fallen officers that we honor tonight were our partners, our loved ones.
According to a national law enforcement fatalities report, line of duty deaths were up 55% in 2021, most from COVID-19. Others died from firearms and traffic-related incidents.
Even though the courageous men and women we honor tonight are no longer with us, they are never truly gone.
62 new names from Texas were engraved on this monument, forever etched in history and forever honored for their duty, commitment, and service.
I feel for them, just like they feel for me.
And now your ABC Big 2 Sports.
Now taking a look at sports, Astros at Blue Jays in Toronto. Yuli and Lourdes Gurriel chosen to exchange scorecards. A cool moment for the brothers. Now second inning, no score. Kevin Gausman dealing first. Jordan Alvarez goes down swinging. Then Yuli Gurriel watches strike 3. Then Nico Goodrum goes down swinging. Gausman strikes out the side and finished with 10 strikeouts through 7 innings. Still no score. Bottom of the 6th. Toronto down 1. Bo Bichette takes Framber Valdez deep for his 3rd homer of the season. Blue Jays up 2-1. Bottom of the 7th. Game tied at 2. All right, Santiago Espinal lines a single off of Phil Matt Chapman scores. Toronto up 3-2, ninth inning, same score. Jordan Romano into close with 1 on, 1 out. Alex Bregman hits a deep fly ball, but George Springer makes the catch at the wall. Kyle Tucker tags and goes to third. Great effort by Springer. Blue Jays still up 3-2. Next batter with 2 out. Jordan Romano strikes out Jeremy Pena, swinging for the final out. Toronto wins 3-2. And Steph Curry and the Warriors take on Ja Morant and the Grizzlies in Game 1 of the conference semifinals. First quarter tied at 10. Gary Payton II throws down the monster dunk on Desmond Bane. Payton second with authority. Golden State up 2 late in the first quarter, tied at 12. What a move. Got play back for you guys. All right. Bane crosses up Curry, knocks down the long 3. Morant is loving it. Memphis up 3, second quarter. Warriors down 3. In transition, Jordan Poole drives inside for the layup. Team high 31 points for Poole. Golden State down 1 later in the second quarter. Brandon Clark going in for the layup. And Draymond Green puts the hard foul on him. Green yanked Clark's jersey and is given a flagrant 2 and is ejected from the game. Green hyping up the Memphis crowd before he departs. And still in the second quarter, Grizzlies up 4 in transition. DeAnthony Melton lobs it up to Morant for the slam. Memphis up 6 at halftime. In third quarter, Warriors down 1. Steph Curry draws the foul and hits the triple for the 4-point play. 24 points for Curry. Golden State up 2. And fourth quarter tied at 110. Morant gets the layup to fall plus the foul. Game high 34 points for Morant. Memphis up 2. Under a minute to play, Warriors down 2. Klay Thompson fakes out the defender and buries the go-ahead 3. Golden State up 1. 3.6 seconds to play. Grizzlies down 1. One last chance. Morant speeding to the rim but can't get the layup to go. Golden State holds on to the win 117-116 and takes the 1-0 series lead.
And coming up tonight, searching for justice. Survivors of the Tulsa Massacre 100 years ago are hoping the city makes things right. An important court date tomorrow could be critical in their fight for justice. We'll have that story when we come back.
You've had no choice.
No choice. No choice. If you've been looking for real news, you've had no choice until now. News Nation is new. We're different. We're not taking sides or leaning into political agendas. If you're looking for the news without the noise, you have the freedom to choose.
Come back to something different.
Come back to balance. Come back to fearless reporting. Come back to the news. News Nation. News for all America.
Hey sis, check out this cute spot. Bougie. I prefer my coffee with a view. Time to put the work in. Safety first.
The 2022 Chevy Blazer and Trailblazer with standard Chevy Safety Assist, part of the Chevy family of SUVs. Find new experiences. Find new roads.
Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy vehicles. New models are arriving weekly. Secure yours today. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
When you have a big family like ours, you're always looking for a great value. That's why we bought our new home from A1 Homes. We traded in our mobile home and got a great deal on a new one. The best part, now another family can purchase our pre-owned home at a great price. A1 Homes can also help you find land and financing. They have homes perfect for any size family. A1 Homes, trade in, trade up, serving Midland and Odessa. Se habla español.
A1 is #1. Watch Good Morning Basin from 5 to 7 on ABC Big 2.
New at 10 tonight, the fight to make things right for descendants and survivors of the infamous Tulsa race massacre 100 years ago.
The 3 last known living survivors of the Tulsa massacre are hoping for justice. An important court date is tomorrow, and that could be critical in their fight for justice.
ABC's Steve Osusami has more.
Tell me about... She's the oldest living survivor of the Tulsa race massacre of 1921.
My name is Viola Ford Fletcher. 107 years old.
She's hoping that a judge in Oklahoma will allow a lawsuit she's a part of to move forward. The hearing is Monday afternoon. Is it safe to say you are pushing, you and the other survivors are pushing for payments?
Yes, whatever it takes to replace our loss. Yes.
In your lifetime?
Yes, sir. While I'm living.
In many households across this country, they put respect on her name and call her Mother Fletcher because of what she's overcome. She and 2 other survivors still living are suing the city of Tulsa, their sheriff, and other authorities for damages that are more than 100 years old. When she was just a child, she and her family ran for their lives after a mob of their white neighbors destroyed the Greenwood district, known to many as Black Wall Street, one of the most prosperous black communities in America.
That night, when we were surrounded by the parents, what was going on, all the shooting and killing and the fires and airplanes, people screaming, people lying on the streets bleeding.
In the lawsuit, her attorney argues that the destruction of black homes and public executions of black people were allowed by authorities, and that those authorities can now be sued under a state public nuisance law. They're suing for a victims' compensation fund that could potentially mean hundreds of millions of dollars.
I'm not the judge, but I do believe that the law and the facts are on our side.
A similar effort to go after drug makers for the state's opioid crisis recently failed, and Tulsa's mayor, who led the effort to help find missing black victims from the massacre, is against having today's taxpayers pay for yesterday's crimes and wants the judge to dismiss the lawsuit.
And I'm also opposed to levying a tax on this generation of Tulsans who are at no fault.
And that was Steve Osunami reporting. Mother Fletcher says she's running out of time to see justice for her family.
Now, Mother Fletcher is turning 108 years old on May 10th. And coming up tonight, there is no chance of breaking up this fight. 2 massive animals going head-to-head in this brawl outside of one shocked couple's home. That wild video up next.
ABC Big 2 Sports, brought to you by Glasheen Vaez and Enderman Injury Lawyers.
Earn an associate degree in respiratory therapy from Midland College. This is a 20-month curriculum, 66 semester credit hours. This program prepares students for an allied health specialty that cares for patients with cardiopulmonary deficiencies.
If your floors look like this, then it's time to call West Texas Commercial Cleaning. Using one of the most advanced floor cleaners available, they'll make your floors shine.
West Texas Commercial Cleaning. Let us bring your floors back to life.
Hey sis, check out this cute spot. Bougie. I prefer my coffee with a view. Time to put the work in. Safety first.
The 2022 Chevy Blazer and Trailblazer with standard Chevy Safety Assist, part of the Chevy family of SUVs. Find new experiences. Find new roads.
Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy vehicles. New models are arriving weekly. Secure yours today. See your Permian Basin Chevy dealers.
What makes best reviews the best reviews?
Milk.
They have an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on pretty much everything. So you can be confident that whatever you're buying is right for you, no matter what life throws at it. Like your daughter Clementine, for example. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
We're checking out. We'll miss you. How was your stay?
We travel all over, and this hotel is our favorite. We love the free breakfast buffet in the mornings and the omelet station.
My favorite thing is the super fast Wi-Fi in the room. I can get my work done and plug my PS4 into that huge 50-inch TV and game all night.
This is the best sleep I've ever had on the most comfortable bed. And I love the Starbucks coffee and the Bath & Body Works soaps in the room.
We'll see you again soon.
The MCM Grande Hotel and Fun Dome, Odessa.
Oh, caught on camera tonight, a couple heard a commotion outside their home and had to take a look. Check this out. Micah and Billy Joe Campbell said just outside of their home in Knoxville, Tennessee, they saw these two black bears thrashing and throwing hits. Eventually, one of the bears sees a way out of the fight and makes a run for it, but terrifying scene. Two big guys going at it. Like Madeline said earlier, no chance of breaking that up.
Tonight, there's a man looking to be a wingman for his best friend. His best friend just so happens to be a 6-month-old puppy named Toby. 32-year-old Tanner Germain made a post on Facebook asking the public for some help finding a play date. Now, the puppy Toby is still learning to socialize, but he is someone who likes to share toys and treats, if you know anybody looking for one. And coming up after the break, Bridget will have one last look at the forecast. We'll be right back.
Let's go. It's Disney night on American Idol. The top 10 sing your favorite Disney song, plus a special performance of We Don't Talk About Bruno. American Idol live coast to coast tonight on ABC.
Join us at Johnny Carino's for our 5 for $15 ribeye steak and lobster ravioli meal deal. Enjoy our Italian nachos appetizer, juicy char-grilled ribeye steak, savory lobster ravioli, choice of your favorite sauce, a refreshing beverage, and our fresh-baked bread, all for only $15. Plus, join us for half-price family platters every Monday after 4 p.m. Choose from a variety of our signature Italian dishes served family style, such as our classic hand-breaded chicken parmesan. Hurry in for dine-in or take-home at Johnny Carino's.
She'll have to catch a ride, but she won't catch pertussis.
Come on. Go on. Yes. Yes.
He'll miss the big game, but not because of tetanus. He'll have to deal with a bruised ego, but he won't have to deal with the flu. Did you know adults need vaccines? Ask your doctor about the vaccines you need and keep yourself and those around you safe. Every dose matters.
With employee pricing at Denver Mattress, you pay what we pay. Backed by popular demand, our employee discount is available to everyone for a limited time. Get 15% off any single Denver Mattress brand product when you spend $9.99 or more. And with our 365-night better sleep guarantee, you'll rest easy knowing you're getting the right mattress. Plus 5 years no interest and free shipping. You pay what we pay with Denver Mattress employee pricing. Available now for everyone.
Style. I got it from my mom. I got it from mine.
And I got it from mine.
And they all got it from me.
It's Macy's Friends and Family with an extra 30% off the perfect gifts for mom. Now at Macy's.
Let's take one last look at that 7-day forecast. Now, tomorrow is going to be totally opposite from today. 0% chances of any kind of rainstorms, isolated thunderstorms, any precipitation. It's going to be very warm and even drier, sitting at 92 degrees. The only time we will have a chance of some rain will be Wednesday, sitting at 10% chance of isolated thunderstorms. And then we have Cinco de Mayo, mostly sunny, 0% chance of some rainstorms. Temperatures do dip a little bit. Then we get into the weekend on Saturday. That's when we're back up into 90-degree temperatures. Hottest of the week will be Saturday, sitting at 95 degrees. It's going to be sunny, but it's also going to be windy. So one thing we are going to do this week is make sure we have our raincoats, but also hydrate and drink some water.
Much needed tips. Thank you, Bridget. Well, the world's largest bottle of scotch, standing at 5 feet 11 inches, could fetch a world record price of $1.9 million when it goes up for auction.
Yeah, this giant bottle holds the equivalent of 444 bottles of 30-year-old Macallan Scotch. Single bottles of Macallan 30 usually sell for over $3,500. The auction, of course, it's happening in Edinburgh, Scotland. I wonder if they're open to Sharon, or hopefully they don't drop
Shipping
it.
overseas.
I hope
yes.
not.
Exactly.
That's all the time we have for news tonight.
Thank you so much for joining us.